I'm glad that you're here with us for our devotion this Saturday. And I want to show something to you that, well, to be honest, it would be very insignificant to you. But to most people, what appears to be just a branch, a part of a branch, means a lot to me. It was when I was in seminary in Springfield, Missouri, and out in front of our house, there was a tulip tree. And it was a beautiful tree, except some of its branches were just too low. And you couldn't mow around it, and it was difficult, and you couldn't see out of the window because they blocked your view. And so one day I grabbed a saw, and I went out, and I cut off the branch. And I cut a little bit more off closer to the tree, and this piece fell down on the ground, and then just kind of stood there, just like that. And I thought, that's kind of unique. And I picked it up off the ground, and it has been on my shelf ever since. 35 some years ago, I've held on to that. Now, why? I suppose I could have thrown it away or burned it or whatever, but that branch represents a time in my life where I am reminded about the faithfulness of God. There are things that you have probably picked up, like if we went on a tour of your home, you would probably point out some objects that mean a great deal to you, significant moments that these kind of signify. Well, we had no money in Springfield, Missouri when I was going to seminary. We didn't have anything at all. But we had God, and this little piece of a branch that fell and stood up is a sign that God was always faithful to me. He was always there to help us. It's a reminder of that moment. I'll bet if you looked around at some of the things in your house, you might say, well, that reminds me of that moment. But then if you thought about that moment for a while, I'll bet you could find the faithfulness of God in that moment. It's not unlike Joshua. He's getting ready to lead the Israelites into the promised land. Now, they've been wandering out there in the desert for 40 years, so this is a big moment. They grab the Ark of the Covenant, and the men are holding it, and they're going to go into the water of the Jordan River. The only problem is the Jordan River is at flood stage. And the Lord says, but when they get in there, the waters will stop and will part, just like they did in the Red Sea. And that's exactly what happened. And all the Israelites crossed through the Jordan River. But before the river started to flow again, God said something. He said, I want you to go out into the river, send 12 men out into the river, and in that center part where they had the Ark of the Covenant, as they were bringing it across, have them pick up a rock. And each one picked up a rock, carried it on their shoulder, brought it out, and where they camped that night, up on the bank, that rock was put there. They arranged those rocks. It became a memorial for Israel, it says, forever. Something to remember the faithfulness of God. You see, that's what this is. It's a memory of the faithfulness of God. And that's what I want to share with you tomorrow at 10 a.m. live. A message that happens with Jesus and the disciples. And it's all about this. The faithfulness of God and the importance of our memory in helping to build our faith. I look forward to seeing you tomorrow. God bless.